everyone, today's video is going to be a frank discussion about our thoughts, and in particular Jodie's thoughts, on being a non-biological or non-bio parent, or becoming one rather. So this video is going to be good for straight couples who are using donor sperm or donor eggs where one of you is not biologically related to your child, and for gay couples as well. So Jodie's going to tell you a little bit about her thought process on becoming a parent.
When I was a teenager, my thoughts on being a parent was that I didn't want to be a parent. I didn't want marriage. This was before I came out as well. I always knew that I was gay, but I think at one point I kind of thought maybe I should just go along with this straight thing.
Yeah.
You know? And so I would think about what I would think about marrying a man and having children, and I didn't really like it.
No.
So I just thought, okay, well, I'm just not going to have kids then, ever. I didn't feel like I wanted to have that whole, carrying a baby, delivering, all that stuff.
Labour.
All that, I didn't feel that need.
Yeah.
That some people do.
Yeah.
So, for some years I just thought that I wasn't going to be a parent because I didn't want to, if I was in a straight relationship, I would have to be the one that was giving birth.
Yeah, and you weren't happy with that.
I wasn't happy with that, Maybe if a guy could have given birth at the time, that would have been fine. I'd have probably wanted kids if they could have done it.
You do it.
Yeah, you do it. So, yeah, that was that at that time. So when I did come out, and I met you, I thought of marriage first, because obviously when we'd been together for 7 months, we got engaged. So, being who I was meant to be, which is a lesbian, made me feel like I do want to get married.
Yeah.
And then after that, I felt the need that I do want kids as well. And she's a woman. She can provide the uterus and the eggs and things like that.
Do the hard work.
Do the hard work, do the labour. And you had that, you wanted to do that.
Yeah. I've always thought from being young that I would carry kids, even before I figured out that I was gay.
Yeah, so she wanted kids as well. And at that time, I did, providing I didn't have to do it.
Yeah, so it makes sense for us, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, in spite of your, health conditions or whatever, it probably would have been this way anyway. I would have been the one to carry.
Yeah. So, because I didn't want to do it, the childbirth thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had that mindset that the child would be your child, because you're the one that's going to carry it, and the only thing that we don't have is sperm. So obviously, put 2 and 2 together, I wouldn't be the biological parent.
Yeah.
And I was fine with that for a while, until there was a thing called Reciprocal IVF.
Yeah, that we found out about.
Yeah, that we found out. And we had thoughts that maybe we'd have one of yours and then one of mine afterwards. Or we wanted to initially have 2 embryos put in.
Yeah, one of each of our eggs, both put in at the same time, but apparently you can't do that. Don't know why.
Not over here you can't, but I've read on the internet that some places do actually do that.
Yeah, but obviously it wouldn't be guaranteed that you'd get both babies to take anyway, and blah 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 blah.
So because we started to think about maybe doing the reciprocal IVF, I got a little bit excited, maybe that would be my chance to be a biological parent.
Yeah.
But I always said that if it had to be like we would take it in turns, I always said you would be the one first to be the biological parent.
Yeah.
And then if we could have a second child, it would be mine.
But I would carry it.
But you would carry it.
Yeah.
And that was all good and fine until we saw the price list.
Yeah, prices of reciprocal IVF are really expensive.
It's more than double the amount for one cycle of normal IVF.
Yeah, so obviously we can't afford that.
Yeah. So at that point I didn't realise how much it was a deal to me when you're told that's not
A possibility.
an option.
Yeah.
Because the price is just too much. So it kind of hurt. It hurt me in the feels because I kind of thought, you know, it would be, you know, we'd have one of each and...
Yeah, she'd gone from feeling like, oh, I'm not bothered about having a kid that's biologically mine because I never thought I would anyway before, to thinking, oh, maybe that is an option and maybe that would be really nice and, you know, and then obviously that's going to be a disappointment when you find out it's just not on the cards.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was a bit upset for a little bit. It didn't take long to get over it though because my desire to have a child is more than my desire to have a child that is biologically mine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe I was down for about a week or something. It wasn't that long, was it?
No.
And, you know, I was just, you know, going through the process now and things, I get excited about it. And to me, it doesn't matter. And I think that when we have the child, it won't matter even more. You know, when the child is actually here.
So tell them a bit about what you were saying about like the worries that you have about when the kid is here, about not being biologically related to them.
Yeah, so obviously when you're going through a process like this, you think about what the repercussions are of being a non-bio parent. Well, I did.
Yeah.
And the concerns that I had was that the child will not connect with me because I'm not biologically related. And, you know, if you have little squabbles with your child that they would throw
In your face.
in my face that I'm not their parent.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I did have a brief moment where I felt like maybe I won't connect to the child, but I think that was around the time when I was told that I wouldn't be able to do reciprocal IVF.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way anymore about it.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, like, your main concerns were, like, thinking that the child might be like, oh, you're not even my real mom, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that it? Was there anything else
Was there
that you were worried about not being biologically related? What about, like, the kid not looking like you, or are you bothered about that?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, we have picked a donor that resembles me, you know, with the dark curly hair and the brown eyes and things, but obviously that doesn't mean the kid will come out like that, you know, it might have your features where it will have light eyes and things like that, but no, I don't really mind.
Yeah. So when Jodie was having her doubts and concerns and stuff at the part where she was, you know, disappointed that she wasn't going to get a child that was biologically related to her, I started to have my concerns being the one that is biologically related. Like, I wouldn't want her to resent me for that or to be envious or something and feel like, oh, well, that's your kid or something, which I'm sure she wouldn't. It was just a passing thought, but we're speaking honestly here. And I wouldn't want her to not feel connected to our child just because she's not biologically related, and that is something that worried me at that time. But obviously we talk about it all the time, don't we? And these things is stuff that we can overcome, and I'm sure that when the child is here that we will just love him or her unconditionally regardless of who she or he is related to. And obviously I do worry too that the kid might throw it in her face, and I wouldn't want that. It would be hurtful to me as well as to you, and I don't like, you know, the idea of you being hurt. That hurts me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but kids are going to say stuff they don't mean when they're angry or upset or whatever, and that's just something that we're going to have to deal with. And I'm sure that lots of other different kinds of families, like blended families or step families or whatever, come across these issues, even if they're not having a kid who's donor conceived or whatever. So, you know, you just have to roll with the punches, don't you, with children, I think. Those were our main concerns. But then we figured what Jodie was saying about not feeling connected. We figured out a way where you can be connected to the child from birth as well. Because obviously when I give birth to the child, or when a woman gives birth to the child, breastfeeding is usually what happens. And that is a way to bond with the child. And we've been watching Living Rosa, haven't we? Since they conceived Lennon. And they did bottle feeding from when she was a really, really small baby. So we thought that's a really good idea for us both to be able to have that connection with the baby from such a young age by doing the breast milk in bottles. And then that also is really good because you don't have to wean them off the breast and onto the bottle. So that's what we've decided to do, isn't it?
Obviously, because when people do reciprocal IVF, there's still only, like Living Rosa for instance, Mandy is not the child's biological parent, but she's contributing by giving birth, and that's something that I feel I'm not contributing at all.
Yeah.
So with the breast milk bottle feeding, at least I can be that person that maybe gets up in the middle of the night. And
so it doesn't always have to be the one who's given birth, who's doing the breastfeeding, that has to get up with the child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when the kids start to understand basic things, we want to tell the child where they came from, how things happened.
Right from the start. As soon as they can start to understand what we're saying or whatever, we'll tell them, you know, we could do it in a story or just tell them about how they were conceived. So it's never
a surprise.
A question,
Or,
it's never a secret or something that we have to reveal to them later in life, or they never have to ask, well, how was I made if we have two mums, because they'll just know. We'll have told them from the start. And then that kind of takes away some of the mystery and confusion, I think, if they already know from when they're really small that I was the one who gave birth and that we used a sperm donor and that Jodie isn't biologically related but she's still just as much their mother as I am, then I feel like hopefully that will help them to adjust and understand who they are.
Yeah.
And be something we don't have to worry about telling them later down the line. Anything else to add?
I just want to say that if anybody is concerned about the things I was concerned about, it doesn't take a biological parent to be a parent.
Yeah.
You know, so you're still a parent even though you're not biologically related.
Yeah. So, for instance, my sister has a different dad to me, but my dad has been her father since she was a really small child, and he's raised her and he treats her just the same as he treats me and my brother. And that's what makes a parent, is the love and, you know, the time that you put into raising your child.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that she's your half sister because
yeah,
you
and
just see
them
as you know, full.
Yeah. So if any one of you watching this video is about to become a non-biological parent and you have any concerns of your own, then please share them with us in the comments and we can have a little discussion. Or if you have advice, if you're already a non-biological parent, you have advice for us or for anybody else who's in the same situation, then please leave that in the comments too. We'd love to hear that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's make it an open discussion, because we're all about being honest about our feelings about the whole situation. So we want to encourage other people to be honest with yourself as well if you're having doubts or fears or whatever. Just open up, tell us.
It really helps to talk about it as well, like with your partner.
Yeah.
You know, the concerns that you have, and I mean, you've helped me a lot to kind of get out of that funk where I kind of felt, well, maybe I won't connect with the child and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. So obviously this is a video that we're doing before we have become parents, biological or non-biological, and we'll probably do a follow-up about how we feel when we actually are parents, when we have our children, and what it's like being a biological and a non-biological parent, to kind of come full circle and see if our concerns were needed, or see if there's anything that we should have been concerned about that we didn't even think of. So yeah, subscribe and stay tuned for that in maybe a year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is it for now. We'll be doing some more updates soon, and we'll see you then.
Yeah.
Give this video a like and subscribe, like I said. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye, guys.